All right, Coach, this past weekend, LSU tournament, beat Eastern in the first round, lost to eventual champions Texas Women's, and with results in the RMAC, kind of unfortunately saw your season come to an end. Didn't get a berth to the NCAA tournament. So talk about the weekend and talk about kind of your reaction to just missing out on postseason play.
Yeah, I think for all of us, there's just a lot of emotions going everywhere. Really proud of our players, the way that they bounced back against Eastern. That's a tough team, and they were missing a couple of their players, but they still are tough. They have everything it takes to beat anybody in the nation. And so I do feel like we made some tough plays in the stretch and, held our composure, and that was some growth on our end. And so I was really proud of our girls for pulling that game out. And then obviously we gave ourselves the same chance against Texas Women's, and that's #1 in the country. And that's what we're building on right now is that, the moment doesn't get any bigger than that. And that's what we're preaching to our young players is, if you can hang with that team, you can hang with pretty much anybody in the nation. And I felt like they did that. It came down to one shot in the fourth quarter, and it was a 6-point swing, so we had a shot to knock the game down to 8-point game. Didn't hit it. They turned around and hit theirs, and so that was a tough stretch. Just kind of a dagger in our stomachs. But I don't think that our players ever quit. We did have a slow start to that game that we've got to eliminate in the future, and then of course not getting into the tournament was tough on all of us, especially for our seniors, and I hurt the most for those guys. They've been a big part of our success, and especially Maddie Stevens. Everybody knows who that is, and I think at this point we're all fighting for those seniors. We're playing for those seniors, and wanted our year to extend a little bit longer, but unfortunately it didn't, and that's the position you put yourself in. If you're on that 7 or 8 spot, there's always a chance that you may not get in. And so of course next year we've got to use all this as fuel. I'm even in my head making up the shirt that we're going to have next year, and it's going to say I remember. I remember this terrible feeling that we're all feeling right now, and I want to use that as fuel going into next year. And I don't want to be 7th or 8th seed. I want to be, top 4 and at least 6th. I feel like you're pretty okay if you're in that 6th position going into the conference tournament, and that's going to be a huge goal for us for next year. And love the team that we have coming back. We've got a lot of great talent, and really excited for the ones that we're adding. And we're just gonna hope the best for our seniors, and I know they're great kids, and I know they're going to go make a positive difference in the world, and they've learned a lot of life lessons, and we've been very tough on them, so I know they're tough kids and going to make it. So
when you look at your season overall, obviously there were ebbs and flows, 11-game win streak, but then you guys end the season on a 6-game losing streak to end the regular season. How can you kind of take some of those games and some of the lessons that the season has taught you into next season with the class that you're excited for?
I think a lot of that was scheduling. I'm not going to say that our game fluctuated that much. Were there lessons within, each of those? Yes, especially in the losing streak that we had. I do feel like that there were at least 2 of those games that we should have won during that stretch, and that's just being ready. You're in the Lone Star Conference. There's not going to be a game that's going to be easy, and that's just the way it is. And having a short memory is something that we have to get better at, and girls are not very good at that. They like to be perfectionists, and they're pleasers, and they hang on to some of those mistakes that they've made, and they just can't. The game is full of mistakes, and we try to limit those, but how you respond determines the outcome, and we've said that all season. And I do feel like they got better at that over time. I do feel like we're a way stronger team than we started with. Even some of those games, I think there was a 3-game losing streak earlier in the season. Man, I wish we had those back now, because I feel like the outcomes would be different, and that's a good spot to be in, is knowing that your team has grown, and they're way better than they were at the beginning. And very excited for next year, because we do get to play some of those teams that we lost to at the beginning again, and excited for the growth that we've had this year carrying over into the next season. And great players are made in the off season, and so what they do from here on out determines how good we're going to be next year. So takes a lot of time to be great, and I think that that's what they've learned this year. And what I mean by that is not only staying in the gym, but a lot of film, lot of film. So.
When you look at, obviously you hinted at it earlier, Maddie Stevens is leaving, but then you have a few upperclassmen moving up a little higher, Morrow and, I hope I'm saying that name right, and Kanaya Williams. But then you also have Magic Escobar moving up too, still an underclassman, a sophomore, but obviously taking a bigger leadership role next season, even as an underclassman. How can you kind of use those pieces to build in this off season to kind of get back to action?
Yeah, I think that's a good core group. And the first thing I'm going to say is we've got to have a vocal leader out there that's guiding traffic. It's got to be an extension of our coaching staff out on the court, and that's what we're challenging some of those older ones with. I do feel like at times that's what we're missing, and I need it from a guard position, one that's going to be a point guard, and get everybody in place, and we are working on that right now. I'm going to challenge Maddie Lumsden with that. I do feel like she's a key piece in our wins and losses. She's got to be scoring. She's very smart. She's a smart kid. She knows what we want on the court. Along with Landry and Naya, they do a lot of great things for us out there, and teaching the younger group is just being a good example for them, both on and off the floor, is something we always challenge them with. But that brings confidence. When you have a confident leader, then it's a calming factor for the rest of the team, and they've been with us long enough now that they know what we want. And honestly, we don't change much. I think everybody in the nation knows what we do. It's not hard to scout us, but that's something that we're gonna, gain confidence with in the off season. And then, on the floor, the thing that I need to do a better job of teaching is how, we've got to learn how to read defense better, period.
Coach, I think I want to give your two graduating seniors their flowers. Of course, the biggest one being Maddie Stevens was here, your first year here, and then of course I believe Lauren Catherman, who you brought in only for just 1 year coming in from St. Ed's. Just talk about the impact that those two players had individually on not only just the program but also you as a head coach.
Yeah, when we brought Lauren in, she was St. Ed's, one of their best players, and I've known the kid since she was tiny. And she's a Lubbock kid that we're very familiar with. And the thing that I love the most about her, she's just a bulldog. We wanted some, Maddie was the lone senior, and so we wanted some more leadership. And I know Lauren did a lot of that off the floor that nobody got to see. And the thing that she brought to the table was she's not afraid to gamble. She is she's just a straight competitor, and she's going to do whatever it takes to win a ball game. And even in practice you saw that, and that just helped us so much, the way that she competed in practice and made our starting five better. And then Maddie, I can't say enough about her. She's everything that I want in a player. I will be the first to tell you I was the hardest on her. We expected a lot from her every game, and she delivered every bit of that. And the way that she led our team is something special. Those players, I know for a fact, would tell you the same thing. They love her, and she meant a lot to them out on the court and off of it. And just to have that kind of person, not only a great basketball player but a great person, leading your team is something special, and definitely going to miss it. I've been thinking about it for a while, like, what am I going to do without Maddie? what am I going to do without Maddie next year? And I don't like to think about that just because I'm trying to be in denial. But, you know, she's something special. I know she's going to go out, and she's a tough kid. That's the one thing I can tell you is she's very tough in every way. And I was very blessed and thankful that I got to coach her for as long as I did. So,
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
yeah.